You are now listening to Through the Fryer. Sit down, no shade, but phones on. You want something juicy to talk about, and I have something to give you. Here we go. Open through the rest stay closed. Really, you don't have no windows. Hell, but it's okay too. I'm Super Saver. No, the ratings are back, and now we have 5 listeners. Listen, thank you for tuning in to Through the Fryer.
What's up? This is Justin Bass with a new episode for Through the Fryer. I am so happy to be back, and I hope you guys all enjoyed my last podcast, which was a labor of effects and love. I really felt like it was just time that I tried to spice up the podcast a little bit. It took me a little bit more time, but nonetheless, I felt like it was pretty funny to me, and I enjoy listening to myself and the things that I did with it. But I hope you enjoyed the last one. Just a little recap. It was about my auditions and the many experiences that are still ever going today. This podcast is going in a different direction. It's still about me, but it's more about making personal choices and just acknowledging that it's time for change, and also knowing that the choice that you make for yourself and what you ideally want to do with your gift or with your meaning is, or it can be as scary as just following someone else's path. And this one, I don't think I'm going to do any effects because, I might have some music in the background, but I just felt compelled to talk this out, and it's about 9:24. It is the last day of August. It's hot as hell in New York City, and usually I would call a friend, but I don't want to wake anyone up, and I was like, you know what, I should just get on the podcast. This is what it's for. It's for me to vent and to get my stuff out there and just, talk about where I'm at, physically, spiritually, mentally, everythingly. So let's see. So there's an audition that's coming up, and it's pretty major, I think. If you don't know, if you haven't listened to my past podcast, if this is your first time, I'm a professional dancer, and I was with the company for 5 seasons in Salt Lake City, Utah. Dance with Repertory Dance Theater. We preserve modern dance, blah 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 blah. And I, recently moved to New York, and tomorrow will officially mark 2 months of me living in the city. And I came out here because I want to further my career. I wanted to get my choreography off the ground. I wanted to perform, at a different level. I felt like I'm ready for. I just want to be surrounded by different groups of people for different types of inspiration. And since I've been to the city, I have been taking classes. I've also been working because a player got to eat. I've been going to auditions a lot, but it's been some auditions that's been standing out, not in a bad way, but just ways of my gut, my intuition is telling me Justin, you know what you want to do at this point. And I have to say, and I have to keep reminding myself what I want to do because I am a dancer, and because I just left an amazing job with amazing benefits and things like that. There's always this thing in the back of my head that I have to replace that with something very close to what I just left, because it did offer me a lot of security. Now, mind you, if I'm going to an audition with those same benefits, there's no security in knowing I might even get the job. But I don't want to feel stupid for not doing the opportunity that is there of an audition that has those benefits. But at the same time, if it's not something that I want to do, why would I do it? What is the dilemma? Why even sign up for the audition? Why go and send information and get all these emails about the audition that's happening and things like that? And I think the hardest thing is that when I sign up or I put on my calendar that I'm going to go to an audition, I have to give myself a really valid reason why I'm not going. A, that it's not something that is going to benefit my new path. B, what am I going to learn from this audition? And C is, is this a waste of time? Because I've been here for almost 2 months, and I cannot tell you how it's feel like I've been here for 5, because it goes by so fast. And there's an audition for the Paul Taylor Dance Company, and actually Paul Taylor just passed away 2 days ago, so rest in peace. And I've been looking at this audition for a while, even before I moved out. And if you don't know, the Paul Taylor Dance Company, it's just a classical modern dance company that's been around for years, like over 50 years. And Paul Taylor is like a pioneer of modern dance. And I was like, I have to go to this audition. Like, this is like, I would be stupid not to show up and go to this. And then this morning, I just got this really emotional thing about, like, I'm not creating work yet. And not because I don't want to, it's because I don't have the money to get the space. And I'm coming with these excuses like, when has space ever been an issue? My last evening live show, we had all of our rehearsals outside in my backyard. So yes, there is a part of laziness because, I'm working and stuff, and now I'm just like, okay, I can get to it. But I get paid today, and I was like, well, okay, what am I going to invest this check in? Because it's time for me to start investing in myself. Like, it's great that I'm going on all these Broadway auditions and things like that, but that's not a gateway into me. That is not a way for me to fully experience my evolved self the way that I want to, in which I can, because I'm in a new space, but also a hyper intellectual, artistic space, which is New York. Which is why I moved here, which is why I moved here with my boyfriend and my dog and our sugar glider. We moved everything here. We drove across. And I look at this audition and I'm like, why? Why would I go to this audition? Not that I'm intimidated by it. But that life is not, that is an old life. That for some reason I am continuing to resurrect. That's like me seeing an Ailey audition and wanting to show up, and I'm like, it's always been a dream to show up to these really big auditions and see what's to happen. But that Justin is gone. The Justin that I want to be, the one that I chose, the one that made the choice to leave security, to leave a 1-bedroom apartment, oh my God, to leave a check when you can go out and buy you something that you really wanted at the moment, where your bank account has some funds to at least get a bottle of wine, that's gone. And I think the hardest part is me leaving that, but also acknowledging that past life. Because it's not that it's still so present, but it's that I'm trying to move so far from it, but I can still see it in my rear view. I'm looking back at a part of me that had different dreams, that is ambitious in a different way. And now I'm here, and I feel like I'm robbing myself of not committing to myself, committing to who I want to be, committing to the art that I want to be doing. I'm 27 years old. Yes, that is young, but it is a fire inside of me that's quaking, that is telling me, you need to commit to yourself. That is the beginning and end game. Because I've always had this motto, like, I don't want to live my life wishing I coulda, woulda, did something. But I can't put that in perspective to things that I just don't need to be doing. Now, yes, I enjoy the Broadway auditions, as superficial as some of them are, but because it's a different world that I have not experienced in full capacity. So I'm very interested in that. And that's also pushing me in different ways. Me going into auditions, doing the same classical step and doing this. I love the foundation of modern dance. I enjoy it. I will jump in a class like crazy. But I don't see myself jumping on or even get my mind mentally right to be in another company situation and another contract situation where I feel trapped. Now I have this artistic freedom and my wings are just fluttering, but I need to get myself off the ground. That's my complete choice. But I think it hit me more this morning that I'm so emotional about it because I'm still scared of going and being fully me and putting myself in front of people. All this confidence I built on stage from being a professional artist and performing in front of thousands of people, thousands as men combined shows in a season. And not really on one stage, but just performing in front of tons of people, and this experience I had in this performance life, I'm like, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm so ready. Like, bam, can't nobody stop me. Watch out, world. And I still do have that. Like, that lion round is still there. But it's a different energy now because I'm presenting myself. Like, now I'm presenting myself in front of a whole new audience. And I didn't think I would be nervous about it because, you know, I love me. And I love me. And from the outer shell of me, everyone feels like, how is Justin so invested 100% into himself like this? How is he so driven? How is he so passionate? It comes at a price of looking inside myself too many times sometimes. There's some days where I just need to just let myself sit down, eat, you know, a bowl of ice cream and let it just relax. When you continue to check in with yourself too many times, you're going to continue to nag the fuck out of yourself. You're going to start wondering, why aren't you doing these personal things? Now, mind you, there is no specific timeline. You know, back in the day, I'm like, oh, at this stage, I want to be this. At this stage, I want to be that. The hardest thing is to let go of that and to just let it happen, but also to be completely prepared for what's to happen. I think that is like the internal message that I need to continue to voice out. You know, if you have to be prepared. Now, who knows what you're preparing for? You don't know. But you cannot prepare yourself with these preparations of things that are not on your path, if that makes sense. Like, if you're making some fresh pasta, like, you're making that pasta, you're making it. There is no need to prepare yourself with an unnecessary ingredient. Like, oh, I need to go in the cabinet and make sure I have vanilla. And just in case, I'm going to hold on to it because this pasta may need it. The pasta never called for that. It never needed that. So now you're falsely preparing yourself with things that won't add to the journey, but actually that's adding weight. That could actually be a distraction. What you need to be doing is preparing yourself with extra flour, extra egg, you know, extra ingredients that go towards the ending journey of it all. That last bowl. And it's crazy because, you know, from this morning to last night, I kind of found myself getting lost. Like, what am I doing? And it's been a long time before I thought, like, what am I doing? Because I've had so much structure and I've had so much like, oh, I'm putting on the show here and this month. I have rehearsal here and there. I know I have to be there. Like, everything is set. And it took me 5 years to get set like that. I know I have to pay this bill. I know this automatic payment that's coming out here, even though automatically I ain't got it. Like, I know what's going to happen. But now, because there's so much freedom in this schedule, like, the only schedule I have is my small job that I work. I'm like, either I feel like I'm not doing enough because I'm not filling it up with stuff, or because I'm just not doing stuff that I feel like I should be, that I need to be doing. Excuse me. It's a lot, because I think I think me realizing that my mind is getting, you know, jammed. It's getting flustered because it's changing. It's getting used to this new thing. Same thing as my body. Like, we're all going on this like thing of change. That's like, oh my gosh. Usually Justin would be doing this. Now Justin is not doing this until that time. Or Justin is now taking a class, you know, out of nowhere at the last minute. So I feel like everything is adjusting, and me acknowledging that right now, like vocalizing that, is like actually helping. And me talking about my fear of committing to myself and putting my work out there and not being shy about it and investing in myself fully is also helping me as well, because it's now I'm seeing exactly what, okay, I should be doing this. Like, I need to be, going out, and I need to be cultivating me, cultivating my own garden. I don't know. Like, I was like, before I did this podcast, I'm like, why am I starting to tear up a little bit? Like, why do I feel lost? And I don't know if this is a quote somewhere, if there's a quote that's like relative to it, but the only fear in being lost is not knowing that you're lost. The only fear in being lost is not knowing that you're lost. Because you can never be found if you don't know that you're lost. I just think that it's okay to acknowledge moments of looking around yourself, trying to find the answer. But it's also completely valid to just stop, meditate, rest, and let the answer find you. And stop over-calculating every single situation that has happened, that has not happened, or that's about to happen at this moment. Me perceiving things and jumping to conclusions is exactly why the conclusion is not going to be what I want it to be. These past auditions I went into, I had some really great experiences, because before I got to the auditions, I had to talk myself off this high anxiety kick that I put myself on sometimes. Like, Justin, look, when you start to stress out about the smallest thing, about you can't find your keys, or do you have this stuff for work because you have to go to work right after this audition, stuff like that. How about you still think about those things, but do not give it the energy that could potentially stress you out? That is the challenge. The challenge is to still worry about those small things that do make a difference on the outer plane, because you need your keys to get into your house. You need your Metro card to get to point A to point B. You need to make sure you have your wallet to check into Pro Studios. You need to make sure that you got your work outfit, because there's no way you can commute back to Manhattan and Brooklyn in between. That stuff is important, but there's no need to add the added stress to it, like, oh my God, because all it does is just hype you up. And then when it's all done, it's like, well, why the fuck did I just get so, up about that? And I have really been practicing that a lot. Like, I show up to the auditions, I sign my name, I stay in my own world, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I went to this Lion King audition for Disney, for Broadway, and it was so crazy because, everybody prepares differently, but to see these guys in this audition, these guys were like, they came in doing like full-on, this studio, small classes, workouts, everything. And I'm like, this is the first time I've seen people like really come in this uber focused about it. And I'm like, that's not a bad thing. But I had to remind myself, like, my thing is actually to calm the fuck down, to relax. Because I'm in my better form when I am not over preparing myself. Yes, I still warm up before the audition. Yes, I still mentally, I got my, tracks going on. I got my beats in my head. I got everything calibrated to get me focused. So when I get in that room and I have to learn those 8 counts in 20, 30 minutes, then I know that I can do that. I know that I need to make sure I go and edge to that spot in the room because it's the best spot that I know I can learn from. I know these are things I'm like, this is where your focus is. Now, in order you to maintain focus here, you have to start to find balance. Find the balance to maintain the focus. Because if your focus is all over the place, no matter how many things you need to be focusing on, and that's going to help you to achieve your goal, it's not going to work if it's all falling apart. Finding balance is just as important as finding focus. They are actually holding hands at this this high moment of your life, where you feel like anything can happen, an opportunity can happen. You might not get this audition, but the audition person might recognize you. They might ask you to come out for a second time and do something. And that might shake you up even more, but then you need to find balance. Now, is balance easy? No. But acknowledging balance and knowing that there's a place where that there's a possibility of that, it makes it, tangible. You can actually grab onto it and it can be a thing. I swear the power of the mind is so crazy, because when I start thinking everything in my body. When I think about being relaxed, when I think about being peaceful, when I think about the clouds, or I think about something that makes me smile, it completely charges my body in a way that I'm like, this is doable. You're here. You have already arrived. Not a big deal. Now it's time to think about the work. Do not think about if they ask to do one at a time again or two at a time or blah, blah, blah. Do not even let that come into your head because you haven't even got there yet. Take it step by step. Because you thinking about all the head stuff that might not even happen is holding you back. I mean, everybody talk about 5, 6, 7, 8, but honey, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the problem. We're always thinking about the end of the count, but how does it start? I cannot tell you how many times I've been in class and the question even for myself is, how did this combination start? That means that I have lost focus along the way, or I'm not connecting the flow of focus from beginning to end. Because those are some of the strongest moments. How you start and how you end. A lot of people get confused in the middle. But a lot of people that know what they're looking for, they're going to remember exactly how you ended things with them in life, in work, in relationships. Nobody remembers like, oh my God, girl, remember when we went to Coney Island and we got hot dogs? You were so romantic and then Beyonce was shooting her video. But then if you were shit at the end of that, that's what's always gonna pop up. We rarely talk about the beautiful moments in between unless they're like catastrophically amazing. Which, you know, I'm gonna even encourage myself to talk about the better moments and stop stressing myself out with, well, remember when this happened, or we really need to do this. Like when you feel yourself getting pumped up with all these endings that have all these negative impacts, then you need to just let it go. Yes, there's a lesson to be learned, but you can maintain the lesson without maintaining the negative energy of it. And that's just the truth. So, I already feel better. I think I said some stuff that really just helped me let go of, a lot of morning anxiety. I think I'm going to make the choice to not go to this audition for Paul Taylor Dance Company because that's not for me. The old Justin would have been there in a heartbeat. I would have thrown on my tights and I would have been like, let's go. But Justin today is making the choice to invest completely in himself. Now that audition, that is meant for somebody who's ready to be in that world. And I just don't want to be in that world anymore. I want to start creating my own world, actually. And I've already started doing it by leaving Salt Lake City and coming to New York and making my own choices. I am investing in myself in a different way, and I'm excited to go to the other auditions that's to come, but I'm also excited to start creating my own shit because it's about time. And I am an artist and I'm ready. And this is where I am about to go forward with. I'm about to continue to push forward to continue to invest in myself. So this is a shorter podcast today, but thank you so much for hanging on with me. I hope that this leaves you with something. Please continue to share my podcast. Remember, it's available on iTunes and Podbean. If this has any spark of inspiration, text a link to a friend, and hopefully that friend texts a link to somebody else, and maybe you'll hear my voice somewhere else in the future. Who knows? But thank you so much for listening to Through the Fryer, and have a great day.